Good morning, traders. TG here, and this is going to be a pre-recorded little session for the Facebook and YouTube and Periscope thing that I normally do this morning on Wednesdays. It is about half an hour after the open, so it is very current. We are seeing what's going on this morning, so just want to put that out there so everybody understands what this is and where we're going. As always, if you guys don't know me or want to learn more about me, you can come check me out at profitpilot.com. It's profit-pilot.com, and I've been talking a lot about the markets here and how they're moving and what we need to do. So go check out the writings that I have, the newsletters, especially this new market highs. But wait, I think that one's actually really important, and that is what I've been talking about and we'll show in the markets in just a second. The other thing, the reason why I am giving this as a pre-recorded session is because my girlfriend and I are up in Sun Valley, Idaho, skiing out here again, doing some spring skiing. The weather is amazing. The snow is a little slushy, but it's pretty nice up here, and just look at those mountains. It really is quite a view up here, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's what we're doing, getting a little R&R, and let's see, now back to the markets. So right in through here we got new highs, here and here, and I just I don't always trust them. Like, we need to be aware of when something like that happens. And first of all, if you kind of zoom in on this, you could see that what they do, they jumped off of the moving average, and they jumped off the moving average for the S&P. So that always gives me a little bit of pause. The other thing is that I'm looking for price to get back closer to the hourly 50. I've been trying to figure out when and where that was going to be, so that's what that original X was for, because I thought maybe back here that was the end, and I thought we were going to start heading down to about there. Well, they decided they want to do even more right here, and then we'll have to see if maybe we get closer to the X, or to the hourly 50 here. So this is something I've been telling my subscribers, that I know what I'm looking for, I know what I'm expecting. It's hard to always know when that's going to happen. And on the daily chart, you can see, we had a little bit of a gap there. That's why I thought we were going to pull back sooner, and then also, previous highs. But then we made new highs right through here, but we have a gap off of the moving average as well. So looking for price to continue pulling back. Jerome Powell does speak today, so that might be an issue. I think if it is an issue, it's pretty much just an excuse of an issue that we'll see. And yesterday I was telling my subscribers that, hey, we don't believe this jump up. The internals were negative. This didn't make sense. I was looking at a lot of names just on their own and seeing what they were doing, and a lot of names were already up and extended into the arch of the foot pattern that I talk about all the time. So I was using individual tickers to help me determine what the market should do. So we're just kind of waiting for this thing, waiting for the market to finish its movements here and get some pullbacks. If we look at the NASDAQ, in a way, this one has been clearer because it is below moving averages. So the fact that it has these upper moving averages overhead has been pretty clear as far as determining when it's going to pull back. So that was also yesterday. I said, hey guys, this is running right into the hourly 200, and it is way off of that moving average. Do not believe this. And again, the internals were negative, even though the market was up a lot. And I said, do not believe it. And then I went off skiing, and by the end of the day, let me zoom in there. By the end of the day, the market had pulled back. So, right in through there at the end of the day, and that was perfect. So, great time to actually be on vacation right now, because I'm just waiting for the market to continue doing this sort of thing where it's pulling back and getting closer to the hourly 50. Then the IWM, and if we look through here, you can see, of course, this one has been the strongest, which is great, but at some point it's going to pull back. Now, again, with the X that I was trying to do, it just kept going. That's fine. I'm not trying to short it. If anything, I'm just trying to find that correct opportunity to start going long on stuff. And yesterday, we finally got price breaking the 15-minute 50 and well on its way to the hourly 50. And you can see the price was too far extended here. So that's what we're looking for. Just trying to figure out when price is going to come down into some support and stop going down. Some examples, if we look at, say, FSEL, get this thing up and running, it's already doing some of the stuff that I want it to be doing. It's doing, kind of zoom out here, it's doing basically a double bottom. It's a larger situation. Or some of you might be more familiar with an inverted head and shoulders. So here's one shoulder, here's the head, here's the other shoulder. And if this holds, if this right shoulder holds, then we should start to see price go up like that. So that's one way to look at it. I've got a few other ways, the elf shoe double bottom situation, which is what we have going on here, right? So you guys should know what that looks like. And we just need the market to stop going down. As soon as the market stops going down and proves and verifies that it has found some support and it's done going down, names like this, which are, I believe, ahead of the pack, should really start moving up. Another way to look at that, space, notice the same thing. What's it doing? Coming back down to the hourly 50. That's great. Notice that it's the same pattern on the daily chart. All these things are really setting up the same way. So I'm seeing a whole lot of consistency out there, which is just absolutely fantastic. And if you look at Neo, same kind of deal. Doesn't that look like space? It doesn't look like F-Cell. They're all doing the same thing, which, as I said, is fantastic. So now that Neo is back down at the hourly 50, I'd like to start seeing them get some support. I'm not really one to just buy the dip, because it could always go lower. But these things are really starting to come into some really constructive areas and formations that I do like. And then I'm real ready to go shopping and see where this stuff takes us. With that, this one was fun. This actually, I did put an X on this one, and this worked out perfectly. So you can see where I was going with like the IWM and the SPY, why I was drawing X's where I was, because if you look at MAR, it did exactly what I was looking for it to do. So there's price pulling back to the hourly 50. It did work out as far as the timing, so I had to kind of adjust that on the indexes. But again, I'm not trying to short anything. If anything, I'm trying to look at price come down into these areas of support. And then I want to see them hold, turn around, and then we can start getting into this stuff. So we just got to be patient. I don't know if I mentioned that Jerome Powell. I think I mentioned Jerome Powell was speaking, so that could be his thing. Whatever the markets are going to do, it doesn't bother me. We're still pretty light in positions. We've got some good ones that have been moving around, some stuff coming back. But, the market's pulling back, and that's what we've been looking for and waiting for. And we just have to keep kind of waiting. One of the other things that... kind of get over here, UVXY. One of the other reasons why I do think that the market's going to continue to the upside is because, well, look at the UVXY. This thing just continues to just melt, just totally fall off of a cliff, which is absolutely fantastic. This tells me that I think we're going to keep going higher once the market pulls back and finishes its, testing of lows situations. But the UVXY was an indication, like, why it's so low. It was likely to bounce. So UVXY bouncing, market comes down. That's kind of what we're seeing. Before I forget, let's talk about the TLT and the TNX, which are inverse of each other. One is the interest rate, one's just the bond price, so they're inversely related. And I've been talking about this and the fact that it's been oversold, and we're starting to see some upward pressure on the Moxie indicator. It was more that I was talking about this at the time, and this. We did get a bump, but could not hold the hourly 50, and it just keeps going down. So this is probably putting some pressure on the market and stocks and stuff. Rising interest rates. Tech doesn't like that, and that's why we've been seeing what we've been seeing. So what I'm kind of saying is, I think we're getting to a point at which that if this were, and maybe a TNX is a little bit easier to see this, but if this were a normal stock, I'd be looking for a pullback pretty soon on this. If we look here on the hourly, we keep seeing price go up, but the Moxie indicator keeps kind of going down. So looking at that, it's starting to get a little poppy, just kind of not smooth and kind of weird. So, I don't know. Again, I don't have a bone to pick with this or a dog in the fight with it, but I do think it is something that we should be aware of. And if this keeps going up, sure, it's going to be putting some pressure on the market. I imagine this thing should stop going up fairly soon, but that's kind of a guess. I'm only saying it because of charts, not because of macroeconomic situations. Jerome Powell is speaking. We'll see what the government does about maybe putting on... who knows? But I keep hearing all this talk about limits on the interest rates. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see where this goes, what they talk about. Generally, I would say if the TNX can start going down, or at least go neutral, then that should help the market. And I just think the TNX is pretty darn extended to the upside. But who knows? We'll have to see. So UUP, maybe we'll just finish up with this. This is the dollar. I've been talking about this for a few weeks, because really what we're seeing here is price down and the Moxie indicator up, and then we got a trampoline move right there, and we got the Moxie price trigger right there, and then the dollar has been moving up. So yeah, I've been saying, hey, sure looks to me like this time the dollar does want to go up compared to the last time there was no divergence. This time there's divergence, so I think that the dollar wants to go up, which also will probably put some pressure on stocks. But if I were to, again, look at this as a chart, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, and again, I'm not going to try and call this one, but at some point, I wouldn't be surprised to see the price and the daily 50, meet with each other and need to do that testing. So there could be a move down in the dollar, I don't know, in the next near future, that kind of thing. So, all right, I'm going to leave you all with that. Remember, if anybody doesn't know who I am and wants to find out a little bit more, come over here to profitpilot.com. Check that out. As I said, we've got some good writings in here. A lot of people email me and write in the comments that they really appreciate what I write and what I do, and that it gives them some insight. So, really, really glad to hear that. And for now, sitting on my hands. We got option expiry coming up. We got Jerome Powell speaking. And the market's just pulling back. So we kind of hang out and wait until the market's right. I am very excited for when this thing stops because I'm seeing some really good stuff setting up. And we just have to be real patient in between then and just keep waiting. We'll see what we can do. All right, everybody. Take care, and thanks for tuning in.